G'day viewers, my name's Graham Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world, and lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists do what they do. We're in the beautiful North Island of New Zealand for this show to see an amazing artist, so come along and enjoy the incredible talent that New Zealand has to offer. Well, g'day viewers and welcome back to Colour in Your Life. Well, we're in Auckland today. Very talented man, Mr. Craig Primrose.
Yeah, hi Graham.
How are you, pal?
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. This is your pre-drafting studio, isn't it?
It is, yes, it is the pre-drafting studio.
We've got to sort of stay in there and he does all of his pre-sketches within this area, but talk about a famous guy. This man, they fly him all over the world to do commissions in various countries with portraits, horses. Now, generally I sort of reel this stuff off pretty quickly, but I've got to go through a list of people that this man's painted. It's unreal. Andre Agassi,
yeah.
Pete Sampras, Pelé. You're the artist for the All Blacks as well.
Well, I was a number of years ago, but I don't hold that rank anymore.
But you're called the People's Artist in New Zealand,
Correct.
aren't you?
Yeah.
It's amazing. The artist for the America's Cup yachting.
Yes.
God. Colin Meads, All Blacks again.
Yes.
Sir Peter Blake, Pat Rafter, Jack Nicklaus and Sir Elton John.
Yeah.
You painted all these people, but the one that I think that stands out to me, which is probably the most iconic hero that New Zealand's got.
Sir Edmund Hillary.
Sir Edmund Hillary, just amazing. And you've really got to have a very close relationship with him, didn't you?
Very close. He was a good mentor.
Yeah.
And one of those sort of guys you could sit down and have a cup of tea or a scotch. Yeah. Because he loved it. He loved having a wee dram. He was one of those guys you could just chill out.
Yeah, fantastic.
And I learned so much from him about not only Everest, but you know, you've got a pinnacle to climb. Yeah. No matter what career you've chosen. Yes. And you just stick at it.
Well, you'll become one of the best in the country without a doubt. And you know, without a doubt, a lot of people throughout the world know who Craig is and obviously commission him to do works as well. But you originally came from an advertising background.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and obviously when the computers came in, it's sort of like, you know, what do we do now? But
yeah,
you had
destitute, I was destitute.
Yeah, it's sort of like, where do we go? But became an incredibly successful artist, and you can actually just see some of the pieces behind us, which are just a magnificent skill that you've got. But we'll be seeing a lot of Craig's work as we go through the show, and you are going to be astounded at the talent that this guy's got.
Oh, you're very kind.
Oh, it really is incredible. But today, we're just going to be working on, seeing we're in the drafting room, we're going to be working on some draft sketches for some of your iconic landscapes.
Yes.
And I mean, you come to New Zealand, the country alone is just quite spectacular.
It's stunning. And the country is my office.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
We're very fortunate over here.
Absolutely, you are. But we're going to start on a pencil sketch today.
Yep.
And then we're going to build that, and you've got some pre-prepared stuff that we're going to go through on how, and these trees for a start are fantastic looking trees. Got to be down the beach somewhere, is it?
Yes, that's Muriwai Beach on the west coast of the North Island.
Okay, it's just fantastic. But we're going to make a start on that and go through the process of how Craig puts some of these together. The thing is that we're not, generally you might be able to get through a painting in a show, but because Craig's work is so detailed and takes so long to do, he's graciously going to take us through some of his drafting processes to get to these really, really magnificent masterpieces. But we'll make a start on it.
Sounds great, Graham.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
Okay, Craig, well, you've got your sketch there. Now, as I said, these are draft sketches for some of the bigger paintings you do. Yes. What are you doing with that sketch at the moment?
Okay, well, this, as we mentioned earlier, this is up at Muriwai Beach, which is on the west coast of the North Island. And so what I've done up there, I did some initial drawings, and they've got these trees up there, Graham, that are so weather-bound. The winds are so strong that these trees grow at acute angles. And they're so incredible. Yeah. So they are quite an attraction for artists to try and capture them. Okay. So in this particular study that I've done, I wanted to bring in a human element. So I decided to put a young woman with a flowing dress into the picture. And behind her, I've put in a road, or a small sort of release from the painting.
Oh, okay.
So she's sitting here, or standing here, I should say, walking to the viewer, and behind her I've got this well-worn sandy track.
Okay.
To me, you've got to have a release out of a painting, somewhere where you can go.
Yes.
So that's what I'm trying to get through to the viewer here.
Okay.
So I've now just working up a little bit more of a detail on how this model is going to look. We've got the sun coming over her right shoulder, which reflects also on the tree line.
Okay. So, I mean, this is obviously about building good composition, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've got to think, how is the viewer going to look at the painting? And it's important that I can get that to the viewer. What is important for me to show the viewer in the painting.
Okay, sure. Well, you look at your work in any sense and you can see these absolutely magnificent, wandering, distant perspective landscapes that just, you're always wondering what's around the next corner.
Exactly.
It's amazing stuff, it really is.
Yeah. And I guess in a way you're telling a story
to
the person viewing the painting.
And that's part of your philosophy within your work as well.
Absolutely.
What's your mission statement again about your work?
Well, being the people's artist is really, we're all on this planet or Earth for 50, maybe 80, 90 years.
Yeah.
And each footstep that we do is part of our history.
Yeah.
And we walk the land, no matter what country we're in, but we're creating history.
Yeah.
And those footsteps are what I'm trying to put into the paintings.
So from this sketch here,
yes,
what you're going to make up some colour drafts?
Yeah, what I'll do is this I hope will end up being quite a large painting. So what we're going to do very soon is I'm going to actually show you a working painting.
Okay.
Now these paintings are a lot smaller.
Yep.
And this is what I do in this room, is just start getting a feel for what I'm about to create.
Yeah.
And it starts here.
That's fantastic. And it's just, the thing about Craig's work is that there really is a history of building the idea. It's not a matter of just sort of going in and saying, I'm going to splat some paint down, which a lot of the beginner artists sort of think, well, if I just start here, it'll work out.
Yeah.
It's studying the subject.
Yeah.
And it's building.
Some artists that works really well.
Yeah.
But for me, I've just got to, I'm drawn into the painting. If I don't have that natural draw in, I just won't paint it.
Yeah.
It's just not worth well, no, I don't say it's not worth my time, but it's not worth putting on a wall for somebody to view it.
Sure. Well, let's make a start on these paintings.
Sure.
We've got a few there that we're going to go through and draft up and just recreate this fantastic sketch here in another study.
Okay.
Before you even get to the bigger one.
All right. Well, what we'll do now is we're going to put down the base background of the sky, and that will start formulating the colour.
Fantastic. Let's go
Okay.
to it.
Cool.
Excellent. I can see that you're using schminky colours.
Yeah.
So, why do you use that particular paint?
For a while, you go through the process early on in your career, and you do try out different products. And for me, Norma, the schminker oils, I find for what I do, perfect.
Okay.
Nice flow on, good pigment ranges in their colours, and they last.
Yeah.
Now, Graham, if you wouldn't mind, could you just pass over the schminker rapid
Sure,
for me, please?
Rapid medium. So that's the first time I've seen rapid medium on. So how do you apply this with your work?
Rapid gives me that, it's a great product. It means that I can thin the paint down to whatever volume I find comfortable with.
Okay.
And it dries incredibly quickly.
It does it?
It does.
That's
In
what
a
I was
matter
asking.
of, 4 or 5 hours, we're touch dry.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Following day, we're dry enough for me to
Ready to
carry
go.
on with the painting.
Fantastic. All right, well, there you go.
Thank you. Now just my trusty old little pot.
So I was just looking, that pot looks like it's had a lot of
Yes,
something in it.
There's been a lot of paintings out of this one pot, and we have to get ourselves a new pot very soon.
Because it's just full.
It is full. We're almost overflowing. So all I merely do is just dip the brush into the rapid.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to start mixing this white up with it. So I'm going to add a little bit of magenta. It's such a very strong, look at the colour now.
Yeah. So you really don't need a lot at all.
No, you don't.
No.
Just a little touch. See, I'm getting this really nice. Now I'm going to add a little bit of Naples yellow.
Yeah.
So this already, in my eye, I'm starting to see that sea salt haziness.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then that's such an important part about it, is that the concept of the imagination and
Yeah.
how you put it together from here to there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all brain to hand.
Yes.
So we're going to go midstream with the painting. I hope you're not going to end up with spots on your
Oh, you'll be right, man.
on your fine
My fine linen.
your fine linen. Now this is actually quite thick,
Yep.
and I do this for a reason. It means then I can actually work the colours. Right, now I'm going to just start adding a little bit more of my Naples yellow, a little bit more of magenta. So I want to give it a little bit of colour, a little bit of strength.
Just slowly building it up.
Just slowly building it up. I don't know whether or not the viewers can see the change of the colour, but from where I'm standing and obviously where Graham's sitting, we're a little bit more aware of the subtleties that are coming through. And this is why it takes so long, because it is a lengthy process. I'm just going to start adding a little bit of sienna brown for the base of this. What I'm going to need to do here, Graham, now is just add a little bit of green. We only need a little bit of this.
Chromium oxide or something.
It is, yep, well spotted. One artist to another.
There you go.
You can see it's quite opaque, which is what I need at the moment. Gives it a good base.
So once you've, built this draft up, this study up,
Yes.
do you just simply sit and look at it, or do you make notes and,
No,
you know?
no, it's all instinct now.
Okay.
And trial and error, as I'm sure that you've gone through the same process, and artists that are watching this now would understand.
Yeah.
Now the job is to start putting the blue in.
Okay.
So I'm going to go for a very light blue. I'm going to mix it in with a little bit of the magenta
Yeah.
and the white that we mixed earlier. So we're going up from the top of the board. Nice long flowing strokes.
Look at that.
Now, because I created or mixed a lot of white in what I was doing earlier, it means then that this is going to blend.
Okay.
And
obviously once you put the base white down,
Yeah.
it makes it so much easier.
Oh yes, I mean, look at that. That's just flowing on beautifully.
Now there's a great technique. Make sure you put your white down first.
Yep. Now what I'm doing is feathering. Now feathering is a technique that has been around for centuries, and it's just you're just drying excess oil off your brush, and you are slowly, just ever so slightly, touching your board. And what I'm doing is just mixing the paint, the top layer with the bottom layer.
Yeah.
I've travelled New Zealand, the whole breadth of it, from South Island to the North Island. When I do travel, I'm probably away for a couple of months, just sourcing out new paintings, new subjects. I've been right down the bottom part of the South Island and camped and really got a feel for the area. One of my favourite areas down there is a place called the Matuki, which is just sort of northwest of Wanaka.
Yeah.
Mount Aspiring is one of the most grandeur mountains down there, and the Matuki sits at the base. So there's a lot of waterfalls, rivers, streams, you name it. For a traditional landscape artist, it's like paradise.
Oh, absolutely. It's a magnificent area. And I've travelled down there, obviously, in the last time we were here, but the grandeur of the mountains and the beauty and the air itself, it's just fantastic. And even the light, when you get down there,
It's so
particularly.
different to what it is up in the North Island.
Yeah, it's amazing. You've been commissioned to do one of the big lodges down there. one stage as
Yes,
well,
that's right.
which has turned out. I mean, you know, your work sells from $6,000 up to $100,000. You know, that's the calibre of artist you are. But you know, when people fly you down to these locations and you stay there and say, you know, paint this beauty for me, it's amazing.
It is. You got to pinch yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember sitting down at the Matuki probably 8 years ago and was really engrossed in doing a painting on site. And I really pinched myself. I thought, this is my office. This is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
How fortunate can one human being be?
Yeah.
It really is. It's unique.
Yeah, and art, and that's what art does. It basically feeds the soul.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Well, this is actually just the lay down for the next stage, and obviously, Craig has put a couple of pieces together for us to be able to do this. So the next one is, because it takes a little bit of time to dry.
This will take a good day for it to dry. So we're going to change this over with something that I worked on a couple of days ago.
And there you go. You can actually see the scene starting to develop from the sketch to where it is now, and it's quite a simple technique, but it's just that you've really mastered the movement in these trees.
I don't like stuff being too difficult.
Sure.
You know, because if it's too difficult, you lose that free flow.
Yeah.
You know, and the creativity from the brain to the hand.
Okay.
If you start, this is one thing, if I can tell your viewers or budding artists that don't overwork your paintings, and it's very easy to do it at times.
Sure.
You think, oh, I'm going to make it a bit better. I can make it better. What about if I do this? And unfortunately, when you start doing that, you overwork it, and you destroy something. You destroy that creative empowerment that you've chucked onto the linen. So put it down. If you think you're going to put something else in it, put it down. Walk away. Do something else.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah. So simple is right. Simple is good.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where do we go from here?
Okay. So what I've done here, started to just rough in the tree line. Now I've been using greens, reds, magentas, because I like to get a little bit of colour. It's just not about black and green. Trees aren't actually just brown, black and green.
Sure.
There's a variant of other colours that come into, and I guess artists like to do this. They like to add colour because it adds the mystique of the artist's eye. So if you can get that down onto your canvas, and people may not see it, but it's there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
What we're going to do now is get a little bit more of the darks into the tree line. And what I'd like to do is actually start introducing some of the more branches that I've got showing around this very sort of beach rugged trees.
Sure.
Now, what I need is my third arm.
Your mole stick.
My mole stick.
Yeah. And you've got a few of them around too.
We do. These were invented hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
I always refer to them as the third arm because it lifts my hand off the painting.
Yeah.
So if you're perspiring, if it's hot or you're dry, you're not going to leave fingerprints onto the canvas. So what I need now here is a lovely fine tip on the end of the brush. And it's now just a matter of working.
You get up close to Craig's work and it's so fine. I mean, somebody will put branches into a tree and sort of think, oh, that's enough, but you actually stick every single branch that's in that tree there.
Well, pretty close to it. I don't actually go on site and count them, but
close.
Yeah, we're close to it.
Yeah. And apart from, you know, specialising in landscapes, I mean, a lot of the commissions that you do equine, a lot of the horses.
Yes.
Which is just fantastic.
Yeah.
And your basis of what you do is you love commissions.
I do love commissions.
To work with people.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But you can work with all of these different animals and people.
Yeah.
And create these beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's a relationship that you build up.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of trust comes into it, and people find that they can trust you and believe that you're a good soul and you're true to your gift.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
It is. Yeah. And that's what makes it special.
Obviously, you refer back to your sketches a lot. I mean, how about photographs as well?
Yes, do a lot of photography and even a little bit of video footage because it gives you a sense of depth of field.
Yep.
But no, the sketches are a vital part of the whole process. When you take a photograph, it's good factual detail that you may require, but the painting will not look like the photograph.
Sure.
Because you embellish
Oh, of course, yeah.
Certain elements of it.
Yeah.
And that just comes with just practice and
Yeah.
knowing.
And even the way that you paint, it's quite mesmerising to the extent that, because there's so much detail actually in there, it's a very, I don't know, cathartic experience. You sort of drift away, but more like a meditation.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you get, I mean, just the joy of being able to paint
Yeah.
is therapeutic. I mean, it's just, I mean, you do feel at the end of the day, I'm pretty worn out.
Yeah.
You know, painting 9 hours a day, you know, at the end of it, you're starting to feel tired.
Yeah.
And earlier on, years ago, I'd be painting till 1 o'clock in the morning. I can't find I can do it anymore.
Yeah.
But I guess with doing this for so many years now, you know your limitations and you know where the power of the day is, that you're going to get the most out of your painting. And that's just living in your own skin, I guess. Well, I don't know about you, but I find now and then if I'm struggling with a painting, I'll pick it up and I'll look at the image through the mirror. Mm-hmm. So it gives you a complete reverse of what you're doing.
Yeah, great idea.
And it actually does help with balance. And you can pick out the flaws, and on that odd occasion you look at it and go, wow, I've nailed it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So that's really cool. But yeah, little bits of things like that help.
I've noticed mirrors scattered around your studio and drafting office.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to let Craig finish up on this one now, but because of the beauty of television, as you can see, Craig has taken these progressive shots as we've gone so that you can see the finished product, which is obviously quite amazing. You can see the finished product on the screen now. Okay, viewers, another great day with a very talented man. Thank you, bud.
Thank you for coming all the way over to see me.
It was a pleasure.
Well, it just wasn't me, there's been a group of other artists.
Admittedly.
Yeah.
Mr. Craig Primrose, without a doubt, one of the most talented people in New Zealand. I mean, an incredibly talented human
Thank
being.
you, thank you.
And we've just sort of switched from the finished process of what Craig was doing to really show you why people all over the world commission this man to do what he does. You can just see, this is a painting of Sir Edmund Hillary.
Yeah.
And it's actually signed as well, because you guys were good friends, weren't you?
Good mates, yeah.
So, as I said, mate, just absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much, Graham.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Now, if people want to track you down all over the world, what is your website?
CraigPrimrose.com.
There you go, guys. Come in, because there's just, you'll go onto this website and you go, oh my God, it's incredible. I hope to get some of your work into our website as well, which is colorinyourlife.com.au. And also come and see us on Facebook as well. But we're having a great time in New Zealand with some amazingly talented human beings. Till we meet again, guys, remember, always make sure you put some colour in your life. See you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye now. Bye.